We've been on since we began. I mean, we haven't gone anywhere. It's the same book. Acts chapter number 22 was last week. What happened? You tell me. Speak up. Speak your mind. Go ahead. Talk to me now. Go ahead. What happened?
Who was here last week? No one.
Paul. Okay, you can review them. All right. Paul goes to the temple. He has been warned several times by God, the prophetess, the old preacher, and then by God again. Do not, it's time to go. When he got there, he even got a point where it was time to go. When they tell you it's time to go, it is time to go. We would indoctrinate the boys from the wimps. You're still young, so got plenty of time. Most of it. And we would pick the worst part of Houston. We would give you a Bible, put you in your hand, and say, now start preaching. They called it street preaching. Jesus did it. Paul did it. Peter did it. John the Baptist did it. It is a tradition of Christianity for a Bible preacher to get on the streets and preach the gospel. So usually we would take a newbie and we would take him to the worst part of town. I mean, muggings, shootings, I mean, it was bad, you know. I mean, it was bad. Queers, everything. I mean, they're everywhere. There's a queer bar across the street with motorcycles. There's right next to it was a theater which showed, I guess, queer movies. And so I told them boys, I said, now boys, when I tell you to get in the car, I mean get in the car. Do not wait. Do not, well, I'm going to go look over here and see about, no. And we had one idiot. He was an idiot. And guess what he decided to do when I said, all right, time to go. He didn't go.
Where's the restroom?
He stayed. Guess what we did? We left him. He needed a good whooping. And if you ain't going to listen, I guess what you need is a beating. If you're not going to listen, I guess that's what you need is a beating. Please beat me. So I will remember this next time you say, get in the car. God is telling the preacher, all right, don't go. So next time God talks to him, you know what God expects? For him to be paying attention. What'd you say now you wanted me to do? Okay, I'm going to do it. Don't go over here? Okay, no problem. See, God don't mind giving you a second chance. You might have to pay the cost. They beat Paul. They beat him pretty bad. He didn't have to go through the beating. But he didn't listen. Time to go! He didn't get in the car. He decided he gonna fall back. You know, I'm gonna still visit with this guy over here, which I'll never win to God because he's a queer. And this guy, you know, he's got his own little mythology, and he wants to talk about religion and everything else, and I want to talk to him, and you ain't gonna say that guy. There's some people, they're just not worth talking to. They're just not worth it. Now, if I think you can get something out of it, guess what? I'll talk to you. If I think you're going to pay attention, I'll talk to you. Paul has been beaten. Verse 23. Acts 23. Verse 1. Paul earnestly beholding the council said, Men and brethren, I have lived in a good conscience before God until this day. And the high priest Ananias commanded them that stood by him to smite him on the mouth. Go over there and somebody slap him. I mean, just go over there and just slap this guy in the face. We got one coming. And so guess what he did? He slapped him in the face. What's going on, Mitch? And so Ananias says, do this. Then Paul said unto him, God shall smite thee, thou whitest wall. For sittest thou to judge me after the law, and commandest me to be smitten contrary to the law? And they that stood by said, Revilest thou God's high priest? They were scared to death of this preacher. This guy was a priest. And because he was a priest, he had, all the people had been listening to this guy for years and years and years. I mean, in years. Can you imagine an old preacher, 30 years old, and then being reprimanded by a young preacher? Well, you gonna hit me?
No.
Paul said, guess what? God's going to do that to you. And people go, did you hear what he said to the priest? To that priest? And they were all in awe because somebody had the nerve to do what God said. Then said Paul, I wish not, brethren, it was as a high priest, for it is written, Thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of the people. You're not supposed to be talking bad about the preacher. Does the preacher have problems? Absolutely. Amen. His feet smell just like yours. Amen. He's got that wax in his ears. I know y'all eat that stuff. Save it up, make you a little wax sandwich.
Ew.
Make you a little wax sandwich right there, huh? In case you get hungry later. Is that what you do? You don't do that? So, and so Paul's basically saying, listen, you're not supposed to do that. I know. But now Paul perceived. What does perceive mean? He figured this one out. Have you ever figured something out? He figured out, perceived that there was, one part was Sadducees, the other part was Pharisees. He did that all on his own. He figured it out. Half of these people belong to this church. Half of these people belong to that church. They both agree on basic doctrines, but basically these are Baptists and these are Methodists. These are Methodists. These are Episcopalians. So Paul basically says to himself, I am now going to use this for my advantage. Every man needs to learn how to use his advantages that God has given him. You ain't got an idea clue what I'm even talking about. You turn in your report card, you know, your paper, and your teacher says, well, this was supposed to be turned in last, you know, Friday. It's a Monday. Well, the kid got sick, my brother got sick, we had to go to the hospital, and I couldn't come to school. Some of y'all are devious at this. I can see that already, all right? I mean, just plain devious. So Paul has perceived, and he cried out. He's thinking this thing out. Now, what do I got to do to get this side and that side to fight? What do they not believe in each other? He says, I'm a Pharisee, just like you guys, on this side. Now he's talking to them. He said, I'm just like you. I ain't like them. I'm like them. These people believe in the resurrection of the dead. You people believe that the dead are dead. When they die, they die. It's it. It's over. Game done. You become dirt. So Paul is saying, here I am about the hope and the resurrection of the resurrection of the dead. I'm called to question. And when he had said so, there arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the multitude was divided. Paul was good at figuring a way how to work a crowd. You must learn. Now, boys, some of y'all will actually be bright eventually. Some of you guys see no hope. Others, ladies will learn to manipulate people. If you really love me, you'd buy me that ring. You really buy it for me if you love me.
Robbie, it's a trap.
It's called manipulation. Perception. He's dividing. He wants something. Paul wants to be heard. He said, so, I told him, hey, they started talking, and the Sadducees, there's no resurrection, there's not angels, there's no spirits, and the Pharisees, they believe in both. And so there arose a great cry. And the scribes that were with the Pharisees part arose and strove, saying, we find no evil in this man, but if a spirit or an angel spoken to him, let us not fight against God. You know what basically Paul's done? He's got them. He's got this half of the room at least to say, if God's talking to him, we believe him. Leave him alone. They were just beating the boogers out of Paul just a minute ago. Everybody was. But at least now, only half the people want to beat the boogers out of Paul. That's pretty good, amen? At least you got half the people with you, So there arose a dissension. The chief captain, fearing lest Paul should be pulled in pieces, commanded the soldiers to go down, take him by force from among them, and bring him into the castle. So this debate that they were going to have, why all this started, has now been ended by the captain. I see we are not going to talk our way out of things, out of this. Let me say this. There's going to be a point in time, whether it's a relationship, let's say a friend, who's not a friend. All he does is whine, complain, needs a favor, is constantly wanting you to do this or wanting you to do that. And basically, they're not a friend. You know what they are? They're a moocher. You know what a moocher is? They mooch. They mooch. They mooch your time.
And money.
I want you to listen to me. Who? Me. Why? Because I'm important. That's why. And that's why I need to borrow your car, and I need gas money because, I don't work, because I'm too important. So I need you to let me borrow some money for gas. There's some friends you shouldn't have. We believe in courting. We do not believe in dating. And the reason we don't believe in dating and courting, I'll tell you the simple reason is because you're not strong enough, especially a man, when to say no. Because when he gets to first base, guess what he wants to do?
Go straight to third.
He wants to go to second base. When he gets to second base, guess what he wants to do?
Third.
He wants to go to third base. That's right. And when he gets to third base, what does he want to do? He wants to slide into home plate. It's built in you. That's why you have to have a chaperone to keep you. Now, women are the same way. They need a chaperone. If not, you'll be selling your blood. All right? How much can I get for a pint? I mean, they're going to get everything and anything they can possibly get from you. Everything. Your time, your money, your influence. When they see somebody more influential than you, back. So, you're a colonel. But that's a general. Back. You said that's not true.
But not every girl's like that.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, I'm just telling you. You need to have. There are some friends you don't need. There are some young ladies, guys, you don't need to be around. They're just going to take advantage of it. That's it.
Oh, no.
That's all they care about. They want you to tell you about how their boyfriend is mistreating them. They don't want no relationship with you. I mean, they just want you to listen and give them money. That's it. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. But because you're, hopeful, she's eventually going to figure out that she really loves me. You're going to take the abuse. Because most of y'all don't look that smart. And the night following, the Lord stood by him and said, "Be of good cheer, Paul." God, the next night, stood by Paul while he was in prison and stood beside him and said, "Be of good cheer. Cheer up." He says, "I know you messed up. I know you didn't listen to me. I know your head hurts because it got stomped on. I know your arms hurt because they got stomped on. I know your legs hurt because they got stomped on. I know you feel back and all over. Everything aches. Everything aches on your body except for one part. But be of good cheer. For thou hast testified of me in Jerusalem, so must thou also witness in Jerusalem." You know what he said? God said, I'm not through with you. What a great God that will overlook someone's pride and will basically say, I know you still love me. And I know you care for me. And I know you really thought this was going to work, but it didn't. Just like I told you it wasn't going to work, but you didn't pay attention. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things and a lot of tragedies that you people will not have to experience if you will just pay attention. Now, the majority of you either own a computer or have a computer at school that you can get to. Did you know that there are words that you don't know what they are? Did you know that you should actually try to learn these words? A poor person compared to the middle class has a vocabulary, I forgot what the age was, over 250,000 words more that they know. Because they're middle class. Whereas the poor person whose mom don't care if you watch TV all night long, dad don't care if you watch TV all night long, and you're not watching Sesame Street. Guess what? You ain't going to learn anything. You're not even going to learn a trade. You don't have to get a college education, but I will say this, 20% of the people that to get a job in the United States, 20% of the jobs, you must have a college education. That means the other 80%, you got to have at least some knowledge. You got to learn to teach yourself. You got to be prepared. Of course, y'all are knuckleheads, and you think you're going to be stupid the rest of your life, and you're going to stay young the rest of your life. Well, I hate to pop your little bubble, but one day you're going to turn 18. One day you're going to turn 28. One day you're going to turn 38. One day you're going to turn 48. Yes, that's right. Unless the Lord shows up. My advice is, you better get ready. Better get ready. Better make some money. Because you know what girls wants to go out with? You know who they want to go out with? Well, they want to go out with you, but you don't have any money. You don't even have a vehicle. That's pretty much the way it is. Either that or you get some loser. Okay? She don't care. She don't care. That's because she's a loser. God told Paul, he said, guess what? You will be preaching in Rome as well. And when it was day, certain of the banded together and bound them under a curse, saying they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. And they were more than 40 which had made the conspiracy, and they came to the chief priests and the elders and said, we have bound ourselves under a great curse, that we will eat nothing until we have slain Paul. Let me say this, they never slay Paul. Right? Never. I wonder which one quit first. There's a Jack in the Box. Pull over there. Stop the car. I'm hungry. I wonder which ones finally just said no. See, religion will only let you go so far. But God will let you do the impossible. And these guys are going to do a religious deed. We're not going to eat till we kill that guy. I'll tell you right there. Right now. We're not. You know, he lives. Do you think that you could, can you see him right now laying in the bed going, I just don't see this. I mean, you know, I put it in my mind. I just, I've heard of Gandhi going on the hunger strikes. I've heard of other people going on hunger strikes, and I just can't see anybody dying because they refuse to eat. They're being religious and not doing what God says. God does not want you to have a miserable life. God actually wants you to enjoy being a Christian. You know, you're not telling me Paul did not have a great time, even though he's hurt. All right, you know, dividing these two groups up, where they're fussing and fighting against each other. You don't telling me the preacher is not enjoying this, watching this mess all transpire? You know, you don't think the little devious preacher is going, that's what we got going now. Being a Christian, God will take care of you. And Paul in the night, he is feeling down. Why is he feeling down? He is feeling down because it's nighttime. He's hurting. And the worst time to be in jail is at night. You go to the Harris County Jail, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, this is what you're going to hear. Talking about grown men. Grown men. Another grown man going, shut up! Come in there and beat you! Because you agree, that's why you put that gun in front of that woman's head and told her to give you all the money. Now you're in jail. Why? Because you were an idiot. You go stick a gun in somebody's face and think you're not going to get caught? You watch too many TV movies, I can tell already. You know, we'll jump in the car, we're going to get away from the helicopters. If the smartest idea that you have in your little brain is to pull out a gun at a convenience store and rob the convenience store owner, you're not that intelligent. So let me get this straight. The best story that you could think of to make millions of dollars was to stick a gun in front of a guy with the cashier, which the most money he's ever made all day is $200, right? And And this is what you decided you were going to do. Oh, wow. Originality. I mean, that's an A+ on originality. I mean, you got an A+. Nobody else ever thought about this, except for all the bozos that you see on the news every day. Is that going to be you, bozo? We going to watch you one day? Oh, that guy used to come to our church. I remember him. Yeah, yeah. What was his name? Mr. Dummy? Mr. Idiot? Mr. Not pay attention? Mr. I don't care. I'm going to get away with it. No. No. But God is still willing to give you another chance. You know what He'll do? Because you wouldn't listen to me. Guess what? There's somebody else coming in your life. God hasn't given up on you. You want to know who it is? For some of you, not all of you, but for some, you get a preacher. They call him a chaplain of the jail, of the prison, so that you'll get another chance. And hopefully, in 20 years from now, you will study one word every day. Why do you think they give you out those sheets every day? Learn these words. Why do I have to learn them? So that you can use them. But I'm doing pretty good right now. Well, what do you know? It's mine! It's mine! It's mine! It's mine! I want that! I want that! I want that! I want that! No, you're going to need to know a little bit more English than that. Just a little bit more. You're going to need to learn some more English than that. If not, you're in good hands with God. And the good hands are very simple. You want to listen to me? No problem. There'll be somebody else too. If you survive the bullets. If they don't shoot you. You rob somebody with a gun, guess what? The police may start shooting. Who are they shooting at? You! Why? Because you got a gun. And since that was your father's gun, your daddy's gun, your mother's gun, you don't want to drop it. It might hurt it. You may just get a bullet. But if you survive, you may get another chance. You may get another preacher. I hope you do. Those that want another chance from God can have another chance. Those that want another chance not to go to hell and get saved, you have it today. You know who gets to make the decision? You do. Father, we love you. I pray, God, you'd help us in Jesus' precious name. Amen, amen, amen. All right. How long we go?
34.